Hi, excuse me, Sachii here, and today, oh, excuse me, let me put the ring on. Okay, yeah, I only put the ring on when I'm up here just because my work requires me not to wear rings. Personal preference, I mean, I can, I just choose not to. Okay, yeah, and today we are drawing a French door. So, as some of you know, the paper is wet, by the way, it's wet on wet. As some of you guys know, I grew up in southern Belgium, but I spent quite a bit of time in various parts of France. And one particular location that really stuck out to me was La Rochelle, which is on the western coast of France, and it's a port city. It's a little bit south of Bordeaux. And I was there for work, actually. I was only there for 2 weeks, but absolutely fell in love with it. Like, I wish I had words to describe how much I loved that area, but regardless, I remember seeing a door in La Rochelle that I was like absolutely in love with. And so right now I'm mixing a bit of red and brown on wet to get this dark maroon color to get the door. So yeah, let's see. So, and this is one of the first times I've ever mixed colors, so this is how serious I am about this. And also just I'm now that my Etsy shop is open, I am trying to be a little bit more there will be more watercolor artworks, and also too I'll be a little bit bolder in what I'm painting, just because now I wouldn't say I have the freedom, but more so I can take the risk now because again my Etsy shop is open and I do need to create new items for it. So we're gonna make this. Okay, so that's wet on wet. We're gonna let that dry a bit while I work on other facets of the piece. Yeah, so I'm trying to do this from memory mostly. Let me try and get a darker brown on the outside of the door. Ooh, okay, that's very dark. Okay, we're gonna do that, and then I'm going to have some fun with this. Yeah, the reason why I'm holding the paper like this is because I just bought a new fountain pen, and it's kind of smearing everywhere. Like, if you can see the top of the paper, it might not be visible to you guys, but I definitely see it. And so I'm trying not to get the fountain pen ink on the paper, or at least as much of it as I can. So we're gonna do, and then we're gonna get the outside of the door and okay, so and we're gonna, okay, so we've got the outside of the door, we've got the inside of the door, or excuse me, we've got the frame of the door, we've got the inside of the door, and now we just wait a little bit. I'm gonna add more red to this mixture that I've made on the side, and I'm gonna add this darker brown. Just so that we can start making the dark areas of the, I love that color. I know it's bleeding over, but again, this is where mistakes can be made. And then we're gonna just, I actually think I might overlay it with this color with a little bit of bleed from the frame. And then okay, and then now we're just gonna bleed everything over with the frames, with everything, with this, with that. And then okay, so we're gonna have to do another pass on that when it dries a little bit more. Let me see if I can get the frame a little bit darker now. and then once we get this area done, we're gonna work on the background of the house itself. The French house I remember seeing was this beautiful shade of like beige, and it was like a brick house, but it wasn't. I wish I could describe it, but it had like, it was more grayish almost. I know that doesn't really match with, but let's see if I can try to replicate this color combination. Again, this is the first time that I've really mixed colors. And so this is going to be very interesting for me because I'm not usually a person who mixes colors. But again, now's the time to learn, or now's the time to be adventurous. Okay, it's not so wet anymore, but I can't spray it. And you can see the red residue because I'm using the same paintbrush. I will change paintbrushes eventually, just like when it comes to, oops, okay, I need to add more. When it comes to me doing the initial layers, I usually don't change paintbrushes until I have to do finer details. That's just the way that I do watercolor. Not sure how anyone else does it. There are much more skilled painters out there. I'm just, I'm a self-taught. I started off with charcoals, and I moved on to acrylics, and then I moved on to watercolors, and I kind of stuck with watercolors. So, okay. You can't really see the wall on the paper right now, but that's okay because you don't need to. Let me just. Oh, okay. Let's make that blend in a little bit more, and then, because there's going to be, I wouldn't say it's a surprise, but just, there's going to be a little bit of a trick. I'm going to change the paintbrushes now. I got these paintbrushes on Amazon. There are probably other paintbrushes that are a bit more suited for watercolor. I got these for cheap, mostly because I really needed paintbrushes, and I found these on Amazon, so I just kind of stuck with them. When it comes to paintbrushes, do your research. Like, these are good enough, but I definitely probably need to start investing. And also too, I don't take care of them as well as I should. So that's another reason why I wouldn't say struggling, but just they're not getting the detail that I want. But at the same time too, I probably needed to do a little bit more research on these paintbrushes. These are more like calligraphy brushes, but honestly, they do what I need it to, and I can't complain about that. So what we're gonna do is, let's try to get more of the wall up. Some painters, they like to do just either horizontal strokes, vertical strokes, diagonal strokes. I am a free-for-all, so my strokes are rather random, but that's a choice. Okay, so now, that's still very wet. Okay, so. We might have to wait a bit before I can continue just because the paper's so wet. So I will be back in a few minutes. A few minutes have passed, and let me try and see if... So I did a new color swatch, if you can't see on the bottom corner of the screen. I did a darker brown mixed in with blue to try and see if I can get the frame a little bit darker. This is now a wet on dry technique, but because the swatch I made was so wet, it doesn't look like it. So yeah. Let me just try and get this. This is going to probably take a few layers of wet and dry and whatnot. But it looks like it's getting the effect that I want it to, which is a plus. So now that we're done with the wet and dry, let's try and get a darker version of the door. So and then I'm gonna probably mix some brown into it, probably just to get. I'm honestly, when I'm not working off a reference, I have pictures of a picture of the door I'm particularly thinking of, but I didn't want to just, I wanted to do this on my own just to see if I could. And then two, I'm having fun with this. I am so happy right now. So let's get this door. It's probably going to have to be darker as well to get the gradient I need, but for now, this will work. So then let's get a little bit of dark color. Let me get a spray bottle to, let me move this. Okay, oh, there's a little bit of, that will be fixed. That's not a big deal because I have plans for the top corner. And it will display why I thought this door was so unique and so beautiful. So once I get to it, but for now, not going to touch that portion of it. I might add some yellow though, just because, you know what, while it's drying, I'm going to add some yellow just to add some flair. And I don't know if flair is the right word, but regardless. Ooh, okay. Yeah, okay. That was probably not a good idea, but you know what? Let's see where this goes. If not, what it can do is it can add a layer to this, the additional surprise that I added, or it will be adding. But for now, let's just, but now you can see the door, it a little bit better, like, the wall color. I'm gonna probably cover it with a little bit of brown as well, but, I'm just, you know, because I managed to put it there. Let's see. Okay. It's a bit more yellow than I want it to be because I just put a glob of yellow not without thinking, but you know what? We'll work with it because now you can see the texture is a little bit better. You can see the color a little bit better. But now let's go back to the door itself. And then I'm going to add, let's see. I'm going to keep adding colors to this door to get it to stand out just a little bit. I'm trying to make a deep shadow. And I probably will stop adding water to this just because I need the shadow to be, oh, well, as I dip. Okay, and then now that I've got that deep shadow, I can add a little bit of detail, and the detail is going to, it's not going to be much, to be honest, just because it's already got so much paint on it, but I'm just going to add darker colors to the darker than already. Let's get more red, and then I might add some brown to it because it needs more definition on, and my rice is ready. It just needs a little bit more definition on the door side. So we're gonna do, to do the seam of the door, let's see, so. And French doors tend to have this little, they tend to be made in like squares. So what I'm doing right now is I'm adding the squares and a little bit of detail to make it so that the squares look like they're more. So the doors are made of wood, so obviously this is like the grain of the wood, but I'm just trying to make it so that it's a little bit more obvious. I mean, it's a little bit difficult because the paper's still so wet, but at least I might, when it dries, I might go over it with just another paintbrush just to make sure that it's blended a little bit more, but you can still get the essence of the door. And the fact that it is where the door opens and closes. Then let's add okay, we're almost there. We're almost to the effect that I want it when it comes to the door, and then I'll work on the frame, and then we'll work on, once the background is dry, we're gonna do the final portion. Okay. Which is what I'm most excited about and what makes this door for my memory so unique. Okay. So we're done with that. Let's get again, we'll go over it with like a soft red to kind of blend, excuse me, to kind of blend everything over. Let's see if I can. Trying to get this this frame a little bit more, stand out a little bit more. But I like, before I get into this next portion, just blend this a little bit more, and then okay, and then now we're gonna get back into the dark brown. I think honestly the dark brown will probably be sufficient at this point. Yeah, okay. Just need it to be a little bit like more framed. I might go over this with a pen. I just got a new set of fountain pens, which is why this video is coming out a little bit later than I wanted it to today, because I wanted to paint it earlier, but wanted to wait until the pen got here just so that like if I needed to add details or whatnot, I could. And I'm loving this fountain pen, by the way. Okay, so I think that's about good enough for now when it comes to the door itself. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to, okay, let's see. How do I want it? Let's start from the top. I just remember being super in love with the way that this looked. And it's not going to be, I mean, I am far from perfect. Again, I am a self-taught watercolor painter, but this, oh my gosh. Oh, like I'm getting excited already because I can already kind of see what it's looking like. Then what we're going to do is we're going to like layer it on top of this as well. And then It was... And my vacuum cleaner is turning on. Okay, so almost done with this. Let's just, okay. So, and then with the darker color, well actually I'm gonna try and see if I can get over some of these layers as well. Because the vines actually extended. I don't know if they're vines. I don't know. I'm not a big... I love flowers, but I'm not very big on identification. So I'm not quite sure what kind of flowers or vines these were. I just know that I fell in love with it. Okay, so... what I think I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to add a thing on my channel that's called Pictures from My Travels, and I'll just paint stuff of things I've seen, because I travel a lot, especially, you know, being a girl from Hawaii who grew up in France or Belgium, southern Belgium, has worked a little bit in France, has like spent some time in Germany, you know, like, so I think I can possibly actually do something really unique with my channel when it comes to the watercolor painting aspect, and I think that's what I'm going to do. Just maybe once or twice a week I just go in and I try to okay, so almost, I won't say almost done, but just... oops, okay. The paintbrushes will be washed very thoroughly after this. I'm usually pretty lazy, but a lot of paint went into this, and I just want to make sure that... ooh, hey, look, okay. Okay, and then the last one, the dark green. There are probably better brushes to make the effect that I'm trying to get, but I'll take this is what I have, this is what I am using, and this is what I'm trying to, what I just have to be okay with. So okay, and then almost done. Okay, now with that, again, I have to wash my brushes because I made... okay, now we're gonna do this. Okay. Will it work? I don't know if you can see it, but they had these, I wouldn't call them roses per se. Let me try this. I'm a big fan of splattering watercolor. So, I mean, if it wasn't obvious from some of my other videos. Okay, so now we're going to choose a different color now. I'm going to do a bright red. because the main colors that were on this door were red and pink. And then this table is gonna have to be cleaned super well after this. That's the one drawback about splattering, especially since I don't prepare for it when I do it. So then let me get, because the red isn't splattering as much as I want it to. We're gonna do, oop, okay, I'll pick that up. Okay, so we're gonna do this. Okay, and then that's, I don't think it will at this point, but it's worth a shot just to like smear it. Actually, you know what? This is what I wanted to do. Okay, so we're gonna take red. We're gonna dilute it super, a lot. Almost done diluting it, and then okay. And with that, I think we're as close to done as we can be. Thanks for joining me, and sorry this video ended up being a little bit long, but yeah, thank you.